All right. And the time is 7:01, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to our call on tonight. I'm RJ Whitehurst, and I am your host for our financial literacy overview. This is a critical time in the economy where families and the middle class are really being hit hard in terms of what's happening in the economy. And at the same time, there are fortunes being made, and there is huge opportunity for growth if you know what to do, where to do it, and who to get to help you. And so we're here to help you. I'm representing Liberation Financial Partners, serving families with the leadership of our Senior Marketing Director, Marcus Bynum. I want you to be sure to stay around to the end. We do have a free offer for you at the end as you stay or hang out with us on tonight. Again, I'm RJ Whitehurst. I am Marketing Director here with Liberation Financial Partners, and we are serving families with the leadership of our Senior Marketing Director, Marcus Bynum. I encourage you all to get your notepad and pen. I am going to go fast, okay? I'm going to go fast. So get your notepad and your pen and get ready to take copious notes, because you are about to get that financial breakthrough information that you've been seeking. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about the benefits of a financial knowledge base. We're going to touch on some of the challenges that families are facing in this economy, and then where to get the support and where we get our support, where we get our data, how is it that we can come strong in the marketplace and help families with reliable information and solutions. I'm going to talk to you about some basic foundational principles to help you along the way, that after this call on tonight, you'll be able to make some changes, okay? And we're also just a little bit about how to reduce your tax liability. We're going to dive into some solutions, and then we're going to make an invitation for a complimentary gift for you on tonight. So we're going to talk about money and business. We're going to talk about two things tonight in our financial overview, and we're so glad that you are here with us. Welcome. So the first thing we want to address is, why are people in this situation? Why is the economy in this situation? Why are people having such a hard time? Where is this struggle coming from? The real key and answer to that is only 4 states in the whole country, 4 states in the United States require financial curriculum in just one semester, So that means that all the rest of the states, right? All the rest of the country, there's no financial education in school at all. So that leads to a big problem. And we are seeing the results of that as you just look around your community, your neighborhood, and maybe even feel it for yourself. So when we talk about the issue and financial literacy, and why it's so necessary for us to get to a financial breakthrough, is because the state of the nation, because of the lack of education, is leaving families $118,000 in debt. In household debt, in revolving credit cards and loans, not mortgage and car notes, but just stuff, right? Stuff, using other people's money. Also, Americans are not saving for retirement. We have not built that saving muscle, okay? And that is really important. 40% of Americans do not have savings for retirement. And that is big. We're going to talk about that in a little while and why that's so important. 72% of workers don't have a benefit plan. They don't have a benefit package. What's happening in the economy today is that the corporations are filling their workforce with 2 people to do one job, okay? 2 part-timers to do one job, and they don't have to pay benefits, okay? Okay, who is that writing on my screen? Thank you. Wow, that was interesting. 72%, as I said, don't have benefits. And then here's a kicker, right? By 2034, they expect a depletion of the trust fund for Social Security. Now, here's what really bakes my noodle. The country's already trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. So wouldn't you think that the trust fund is already depleted? Okay, so just think about that for a moment. Do you see yourself in any of these numbers, or someone that you know, like, trust, and care about? When we talk about finances, when we talk about growing money, when we talk about business, you have to have these four cornerstones. We're setting a foundation for financial breakthrough, for financial stability. And stability has to have a foundation. Number one is protection. How do you protect what matters most? How do you protect the money that you grow and save, that you work hard for? How do you protect your loved ones, your assets? How do you protect your business? How do you get it to grow? Number two, how do you get all those things to grow, right? If you have money coming in, you want that money to grow. If you're putting it in an account, you want that money to grow. If you're building a business, you want that business to grow. And how does it do that safely? Number three, safety is key. We want to make sure that we mitigate any loss, that we make sure that we cover all our bases with regard to liabilities and the risk of losing money, okay? And four, the last cornerstone is tax advantage. How do you keep Uncle Sam out of your pocket? How do you get to a place where you can minimize your taxes, right? Reduce your tax liability. That is what is necessary. These are the four financial cornerstones. Now, where do we get our information from? Who is it that is the powerhouse in this nation? Transamerica. If you've never heard of Transamerica, they've been around since 1906. Not a flash in the pan, been here a long time. We chose to partner with Transamerica, who owns World Financial Group, who are the people who are reaching the families, people who are reaching families and rescuing families from the financial situations that they find themselves in by teaching the financial principles that are necessary in order to know what to do to get out of the situation that we're in. Transamerica, powerhouse. So what is the mission? The mission is to help people from all walks of life build a better future. Really. It's about no family left behind. It's about helping families rise financially, helping families rise financially. So I'm going to ask you these three questions as we continue through this and evaluate the information that you're getting here tonight. Now, I know I'm going to talk fast, okay? And the person who invited you on this call tonight, they have the information. They're going to be able to answer all your questions. I encourage you to go ahead and take some notes. Here are the things we'd like you to consider. Do you know someone who could benefit from this message that you're hearing this evening? Number two, can this information help you, your family, and your friends financially? And number three, are you intrigued by the business? I said when I opened up, we're going to talk about business and money. We live in a capitalist society, and capitalism is based on business, right? Capitalism is based on our ability to know how money works, and that's what we're going to talk about this evening. Strength. We're coming to you from a position of strength and power. Transamerica is a global powerhouse with the ownership being owned by Aegon. Aegon is the 156th largest company in the world, like on the planet, right? So when you come with this kind of information, you don't have to, you can be sure that it is reliable. You can be sure that this information is the support that we get and the data that we're giving you is really going to give you solutions to your issue. This is a company that's been around since 1906 and Aegon since the late 1800s. So this is this is a space where you would never have had an opportunity to get in now in terms of having access to this information if you were not here on tonight and getting to know the person who invited you here this evening. When we talk about having strength, I'm sure those of you who are watching on the video, you can see, some of these names. Voya, Prudential, Nationwide is on your side. Allianz, American Funds, okay, Pacific Life. We know those names. But usually the only time we have any contact with them is on our job with benefits. And the unfortunate thing is that jobs are really getting rid of pensions. The benefits are not there. But you are getting the information tonight to recognize that you can have these things personally for yourself on your own without a middleman, without the company that you work for having to supply them for you. And this is the way of the wealthy. All right. They understand strength and selection. And what does this do for us? What this brings to the table is it makes us brokers. It means that we can represent you to the companies, okay, as opposed to us representing one company to you, to the client. So we have a plethora, we have a plethora is the right word. We have a plethora of carriers and all of the information, the knowledge, and the providers waiting to talk to you, waiting to help families. And we are assisting the families to get in touch with these carriers who are waiting to assist. So let's talk about the financial literacy part. Let's really dive into the knowledge base. The first thing we want to have to get to understand is the power of compound interest. That is one of the first rules that we get to understand, and it's called the rule of 72. The rule of 72. So stay with me here. What you'll notice over to the far left is 1%. And so here's how the rule of 72 works. You take the number 72 and whatever it is that you're gaining in terms of an interest rate, and we take that first column, 1%, if we divide the number 72 by 1, we get 72. So what does that mean? That means that it takes your money 72 years to double at 1%. So a person, a 29-year-old who put $10,000 in an account that was earning 1% doesn't have $20,000 until they're 101. More than likely, they're not on the planet anymore. Okay. So let me break that down a little bit more. Let me just unpack that for you. That means if I give you $1 today at 1%, you won't have $2 for another 72 years. Okay. I just wanted to break that down, right? So this is the rule of 72. It was formulated by Albert Einstein, pretty smart guy, right? And it is something that we could have learned in the third grade. It's short division, right? So let's just go through this chart. At 4%, your money doubles every 18 years. At 65, you've got $40,000, not enough to retire on. At 6%, your money doubles every 12 years. Now at 65, you have $80,000, still not enough to retire on. And at 10%, your money doubles every 72 years. Every 7.2 years. Let me repeat that. At 10%, your money doubles every 7.2 years. Now at 65, you've got $320,000. The question I would pose, is that enough to retire on? And I submit to you that it's not, because with the advances in medicine, and medical science, and natural healing, people are living way longer than 65 years. Okay. So the question is, if you retire, if you leave the workforce, if you're injured and you can no longer work and you have $320,000, that's $32,000 for 10 years. Okay. That's $32,000 for 10 years. Suppose you live another 30 years. Suppose you live another 25 years. Possible, right? At 72, at 10%, and your money doubling every 7.2 years, you have $640,000. That's a good start. Okay. So this is the rule of 72. If you've never seen it before, it's because only 4 states in the United States teach us anything about financial literacy. Albert Einstein developed this formula and they didn't tell us about it. This is what you need to know. Now, the question that begs to be answered at this slide is, where do you get 10%? We have that for you. We have the solution to that for you. One other little caveat I want to give you is that this works in reverse. For those who have credit cards that are 20%, 24%, you divide your interest rate into 72 and it will tell you how long the principal that you owe doubles. Okay. And if you only pay the minimum, you never get out of debt. Where do you put your money? What are your options? Well, you can put your money in a fixed account. Fixed account is a flat line, dead on arrival, right? It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's just what it is. Okay. No growth. Variable is the stock market. It's up and down, right? So right now we know that people are buzzing about a market correction coming. And by the way, correction is the new word, right? It's the politically correct word for market crash. Okay. So a variable account is the stock market. It's the roller coaster. right? You can get great gains, but you can also lose your shirt, okay? Indexed account. Let's take a look at this. Your indexed account is linked to the market, but your money's not in the market. So the way this contract works is that when you put your money in the policy, right? When the market goes up, your money goes up. And when the market goes down, your money locks in. Principal and interest cannot lose money. When the market goes up, your money goes up. When the market goes down, your money locks in. Principal and interest cannot lose money. So that mitigates the risk, right? It makes sure that your money is protected. Let's go back to the cornerstones. Your money is protected, right? Your money is growing. Your money is safe. And also in the index account, it is tax-free on the interest earned, tax-free. So this is a non-taxable program that you can participate in that most people have not heard anything about, and it's 100 years old. Okay, so we're here and happy to be able to share that with you. So where would you like your money to grow? People are all over the place in terms of what their investment options are, what the culture scape looks like. People over here on the A side, they're in the fixed accounts. They're in their savings and their CDs. They are playing it safe. They got little opportunity for growth. They feel like be safe because their money is insured by the FDIC, and that's insured up to $250,000. Okay. Now I want to share something with you. Went to the bank, got the sheet for the interest rates. Even at $250,000, you still only get 0.06%. So remember that chart when we were talking about getting 1%? The banks are not paying you 1%, not 1%. You're not even getting a dime, in a lot of cases, a nickel on your money annually. Okay. So safe, but less opportunity for growth. And then you have your fixed traditional life insurance where you grow cash value and it's at a fixed rate, right? Not a lot of opportunity for growth, but it is insured by the insurance company that you have that policy with. Over here on the B side, these are the folks who play in the market. And if you have a 401 or 403B, you're in the market. You're in mutual funds, okay? And that's tied to the market. So when the market goes up, you get gains, but when the market goes down, you also lose money. And who can afford to be losing money when you're trying to save for retirement? There are no guarantees when you play the market. No guarantees. If you have a life insurance policy and some of that, your cash value is in variable, the part of that's insurance is guaranteed, but the part that's in the market is not guaranteed. So you've got less safety, a little bit more opportunity. Where do the wealthy put their money? And wealthy is defined by those who know, right? They know something. There's not really necessarily a quote unquote money problem. There's a knowledge-based problem. And that knowledge base has to do with understanding how money works. And those who understand, they put their money in the index universal life because it is the index that I just described to you. When your market goes up, your money grows, your money goes up. When the market goes down, your money locks in. You cannot lose money. Cannot lose money. There's a 0.75 floor on one of the programs that we offer. So even when the market is tanking, when the market's under the bus, you're still earning 0.75 when everybody else is losing. And it has a 15% cap, which means that you get everything within that growth corridor between 0.75 and 15%, right? So just think about that in terms of what is possible and is completely guaranteed, no loss. You get to choose what your tax status is. So let's talk about how money gets taxed. You can live in the tax now, tax later, or tax advantage world. The tax now is you got your pay and they took the money out your taxes out before you even got your check. In your savings account, your certificates of deposit, and some other items that you'll see in a moment, your earnings, you pay tax on your earnings in the year that you earned them, in the year that you received them. That's tax now. Tax later are your deferred accounts, your 401s, your 403Bs, your IRAs, fixed annuities, and savings bonds. I'll pay taxes later, okay? And then there's tax advantage, your Roth IRAs, which have a limit on how much you can actually put in. So it's not, in my opinion, a very good tool for retirement. can work great in part of a portfolio, but not the only thing. But you do have cash accumulation in insurance policy. Okay. When saving, you want to make sure that you consider the effect of taxes on your income. This is how you make sure that your cash flow is where it needs to be all the time. You have to pay attention to the taxes, your tax liability, and make sure you minimize that. So let's dive a little deeper into that. This is a tax rate and government spending historical chart. The big gray bar on the bottom represents government spending, and the smaller blue line indicates personal taxes, personal income tax. Well, in 1946, the country was going through World War II, and government spending was at 121.25. So for those of you who are not seeing the screen, just imagine that. The government spending was 121.25%. That's huge, right? And at the same time, taxes, personal taxes was 94%. 94%. What does that mean? If you earned $100,000 at 94% tax, you only took home $6,000. Wow. So then as government spending went down, the war was over, and there was still a big gap between the tax rate and the government spending. And that is because the government only has taxpayers' money to spend. So the tax rate stayed high, and now it has gone down to about 40%. However, government spending is off the charts, right? In 2014, it was 80%. It's 4 years later, 2018. We know that the government is trillions of dollars in debt. So what does that mean has to happen? Taxes have to go up because government spending is up. And the only money government has to spend is the taxpayers' money. So if you have your money in deferred accounts where you said, I'll pay taxes later, you're in a tax trap. And you need to be able to sit with the person who invited you to this call and talk about that. So let's go back to this. You can be in tax now, tax later, or tax free. So the politically correct word for free is advantaged. Okay, so you see how the chart has grown. So I'm going to jump over here to the tax free part, and I'm going to ask you if you've ever heard of a 529 or a 7702. Everything else on here you've probably seen or heard of before. The 7702 is the index account that we're talking to you about. It's a tax code. The 529 is where families save for college fund. Now, what's the difference? The 529 is a great place. It's tax-free. You can put money in there. If you put $100,000 in there for your children's education, when you get ready to stroke that check to the university or college, it's completely tax-free. However, suppose your child decides they don't want to go to college, right? You will lose 40% of what you put away to taxes if you take it out for anything other than higher education. Okay. And now the law has changed where you can actually use it for any private school, whether it's elementary, middle, high school, or college, university level. So the 529 serves a purpose, but it must be used for educational purposes. The 7702, on the other hand, you put money in, it is tax-free. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. And when you take money out, let's suppose you buy a car, if you take a loan against it, right? And you're going to pay it back at about 0.75, which is the same amount as the floor. So when you look at the funds, it's still earning, even though you took it out, it's still earning. It's still earning. And I know that's something to try to wrap your mind around, right? But the 7702 is the tax code for the indexed account. And again, what is that indexed account? You put your money in the account, and you put your money in the account, and also as the market goes up, your money grows. When the market goes down, your money locks in principal and interest. You cannot lose money. You cannot lose money, and you do not pay tax on your gains. Powerful. So how do we get this information, this financial literacy, this knowledge base? How do we get this to our families in need? We use what we call the 6 steps. the 6 steps to financial independence, and they are cash flow, proper protection, emergency fund, debt management, building, and the preservation of wealth. You have to get a handle on your cash flow, create additional streams of income other than going to get another job. We've been told that time is money, and really time is life. Time is not money, time is life. Okay, so if you continue to go spend your life someplace, you're making other people rich. So if you don't take care of your financial future, you'll spend your whole life making somebody else wealthy. Emergency fund, you really need 9 to 12 months worth of stash, right? Some money, liquidity that you can put your hands on. Debt management, we saw how the rule of 72 can hurt you if you don't understand it, and how high debt interest rates are really sucking the money out of your household. Proper protection, first and foremost, to make sure that everything that you're doing financially is proper protection. Wealthy people protect themselves against poverty. Hello, wealthy people protect themselves against poverty. Okay, so making sure that everything is protected is of critical importance. And then the last two, to build and preserve wealth, you must outpace inflation. Inflation is 4.5%. We must reduce taxes. If you didn't get a 4.5% raise on your job, you are under the bus. The bank is not paying you 4.5%. They're barely giving you a nickel. Okay, so we've got to think about that in terms of how do we build wealth? How do we preserve wealth? We reduce taxation, and we plan to build our family legacy. Timing is everything. The baby boomers have moved this economy from where it was in 1946 in the war effort, all the way down now over to now where the baby boomers are retiring. That is the change. That has been the cash flow. We are right now living in the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of this nation because of the trends that the baby boomer has set. Now that those baby boomers, I'm one, transferring all of the money, rolling our retirement over, and we're passing away, and we're leaving that money to Generation X and the millennials, and they have to do something with it, and they make up 41% of the population. So what does that mean? This is the time to get involved to help people move money. This is the right place at the right time, because the state of the industry for advisors, for financial professionals, for folks like myself and the person who invited you to this call as brokers, we need more people. We're looking at having an estimated shortfall of 200,000, and I was recently told 250,000 advisors will be needed by the year 2022, because there's just not enough people to help roll all this money over, right? So this is the perfect place to be. And I might add that the highest paid individuals on the planet are the people who move the money, okay? Who move the money. So if you want a world-class financial education, you are in the right place. I said when we started, we were going to talk about money and business. World Financial Group is providing a solution to a need that is so great, so needed right now. There's no other word. It's incredible how much people are suffering. And our business platform gives us the opportunity to come on board and start with no experience. You don't need to know anything about finances. You will get a world-class financial education by teaming up with us. We have a system, a business system. So we're not winging it. We know exactly how to do this. I mentioned that Transamerica is 106 years old. Bank of America was spawned from Transamerica. We know how to do this thing. You can start part-time, keep your day job, right? Start part-time. Here, there's no clock to punch, right? You own your time so that you can begin to own your future. We have a diverse field force, and we are growing in underserved markets. There's all kinds of leadership and development mentoring for you here, and the earning potential is unlimited. Unlimited. The person who got you on this video cast, this conference call this evening, can share with you what some of that looks like. And I'm going to go over a couple numbers in just a moment, but I want you to know that we are currently expanding, particularly across the country. We're going to open 10 new offices in the next 10 months. So get ready. Get ready. We have the technology and we have the business tools. We are a world-class organization with world-class recognition and events. So really quickly, let me share with you how the money works. If you're an associate, that means that you are licensed and you're at a 45% contract. You can earn $4,000 a month part-time by helping 4 families save $185 a month, right? Just 4 families. That's just one a week. You can add an extra $50,000 to your income. At the senior marketing director level, doing the same work, okay, at an 80% contract, doing the same work, same 4 families structure, $185 a month contributing to their program. The senior marketing director makes about $8,000 a month, $85,000, $90,000 a year. And then as your agency begins to build your firm, because you're here not to work for anyone, you're here to build your own financial firm, and all of the support and the resources are available to you right here tonight, available to you right here for you to be able to launch out and do that. So that's how the money works in terms of earnings and what's possible. World-class recognition and events. You know, when was the last time somebody on your job pat you on your back, gave you a watch or a ring, sent you on a all expense paid vacation, to the hottest destinations on the planet, right? That happens here. That happens here. So as we wrap up, we started with the 3 questions for you to consider. Do you know someone who could benefit from this message? Can this information help you, your family, and friends financially? And are you intrigued by the business? What are the next steps? You can become a client. And I asked you at the beginning of the call to hang on, because we were going to offer you, we're going to make a free offer. And that free offer is the financial needs analysis, the 6 steps. And those 6 steps of cash flow, debt management, emergency fund, proper protection, building and preserving wealth, those 6 steps are critical in terms of building on that foundation that we talked about tonight. So you can also start part-time in business with us, and you can also start full-time. However, it all starts with a free financial needs analysis. So please get back to the person who invited you on the call tonight. And it's been my pleasure to serve you on this evening with this information. And we look forward to helping you and your family to rise financially. I'm RJ Whitehurst, and it's been my pleasure to serve you. God bless you and good night.